Welcome to Silverrun Forest on Farming Simulator 22, the Platinum Edition, for episode 1, with me, MrSealyp. And so it begins. We have arrived. It's been quite a long journey. We're here at Silverrun Forest. Now, this is going to be slightly different because there's so much more, because this is new. I know I'm a week behind, well, just under a week behind. About a week behind. This may sound a little bit echoey as well. I'm away with MrSealyp for the whole week, so I'm recording. I brought my PlayStation away. We're away for a week, so the whole setup's a little bit different, and it's the same as it has been before. I'm recording across the room at a larger TV, but it's quite a long way away, so my eyesight's not so good, you know. That being said, when I did Homestead on FS19, I did it was a complete start from scratch, didn't have anything, started with the chainsaw, that kind of thing. I did the same thing on Western Wilds. It was just me. I walked out at a tent and a chainsaw. We found a pickup and we just went from there. This is a little bit different because coming from Griffin, Indiana, I bought my Land Rover that I bought, and on the back, be careful where you go with this. On the back, I loaded up before we left Griffin, Indiana, our second-hand John Deere. Now, we have some land. I had 1.6 million on Griffin. We bought a plot of land, only small, and with that plot of land, we got ourselves a little cottage, log cabin, however you refer to it, and a couple of vehicles that came with it. Quite old, quite small, but we got a couple of vehicles. Now, this tractor on the back of here is my collateral, it's my finances, it's what I own. I can sell this and we can buy stuff, but that money's not going to go far, as we always know with this game. It's not going to go far. There's a lot of stuff I want to do because there's a lot of stuff to do on here. I was thinking I could buy myself a log harvester. We don't start with. I'm not starting with a log harvester. I thought, do I invest in a production chain? Do I buy the boatyard, for example? I could start off that. I'm going to run the boatyard, so I've got to make the first boat to get interest, that kind of thing. If I buy the boatyard, then I've got no money for equipment if I need it. Do I start logging, build up a bit of money, then buy the boatyard? Do I sell this? You know, I've got some choices to make. What I have got to do first of all is just pull this up and park it. I've got to go to the gallery. That's where I've got to pick up the keys to my my cabin, which isn't far from here. I've also got to go to the fire department, because what I've got to do there, just like that, I've got to pick up my logging permits, fire safety permits, all those bits and bobs to make sure I'm safe to log. Now, my ultimate plan, well, A, is to have a go at all the stuff that's on it. Try everything if I can. I want to build up a big logging empire if I can. But I want to move from where my initial plot of land is. I want to move out into the hills. I want to become a mountain man. And buy a plot and then maybe build a house and stuff out there. That's the ideal. So first things first, I'm going to pop to the gallery. As far as I'm aware, the gallery pays well for found items. If we find any items, I'm not going to not collect them. I'm going to collect them, and they should appear here. So I'm going to pick up the keys, and then we'll go to the fire station. We'll get our permits, and then let's get up to our plot. Now, what I'm also hoping to do is, if there's one available, I'm going to pick up a deadwood contract, I think. It has been suggested I go a bit Daggerwin-esque, and every episode asks subscribers what they want to see. And in honesty, Daggerwin does that. He already does that. I read comments. I don't always reply to all of them, but I do go through and read comments. Not all of them, but I read as many as I can. And I'll often respond to comments that are made. I'll often react to comments that are made. That's how I've always done it. That's my kind of, that's me. That's how I do my channel. I'm not sure it's going to have the oomph to pull this up here, you know. Oh no. Land Rovers are good, but not that good. So I need to go that, and... Oh, that doesn't want to fold down. There we go. Straps off. Let's take the tractor off, shall we? So I say, this will sit. And it's my, like I say, my nest egg. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to sell it. Of course I am. At some point I'm going to sell it because, let's be honest, I haven't got any farmland. I haven't got any need for a 620 horsepower John Deere. Have I missed my turning? Have I missed my calling? Oh, it's just a billet. So, this is what we own. Slightly different to advertised. The cabin's a little bit different. Cabin was the word, yeah, not cabin. The cabin. We've got these two no tree harvester, and on the back we've got a Fanzelt. Is that a Fanzelt winch? This was all in the brochure. This all came with it. It's all quite old stuff. Needs a bit of work. That's not bad horsepower on that. I want to say 120 or 140 horsepower. That is this. Oh well, we'll see. Low horsepower. It's small. It's got a crane. It's got a log bunk. We can get some logs on there. But this first episode is going to be we're finding our feet. I mean, really. As far as land goes, we own the land around us, but not all of it. I'm going to say not what you might expect us to own. I'm going to stick this up by the side of here because this won't fit into that shed, but we'll put it up here out of the way. Like I say, we are going to need that. We are going to sell it. I just don't know. I don't want to jump the gun and do what I always do. I get a bit of money and go, oh, let's buy stuff, you know. And then an hour after buying stuff, you suddenly think, oh, I know what I should have bought, or I need to be a bit more careful this time. Because the other thing as well, other than doing a bit of testing, which I have done a bit of testing, just thinking as well, the trailer. Do I need that trailer anymore? I don't really, do I? Could I just wonder if it's worth me getting rid of the trailer, or actually no, I was just thinking speed-wise, for getting to locations, it'll be quicker for me to drive the Land Rover with the trailer, maybe with something on the back of it, than driving the actual vehicle. So I'm pretty sure our BM forwarder, our Volvo forwarder, is quite slow. Admittedly, once we've got logs and stuff on board, we're going to have to bring back. Although that being said, hang on, I've got a plan for them. Straps go that way. There's actually nothing to stop me putting logs on this. Really? Apart from the fact, obviously, they're going to go on the wheels, but I can put logs all the way out to here. That's a much longer proposition. Something to consider. So, we bought our chainsaw with us from Griffin. So we've got a chainsaw. I just want to start these up and drive them. We're going to in a minute. I just want to have a look at our surroundings. Oh man, look at this. I mean, don't admit. This is, for me personally, this is not the game talking. This is me personally. This is my absolute dream, my absolute ideal. I'm up in the Lake District at the moment. I've said this before. My wife and I talked about moving to places like Alaska and all sorts of, I just want to own a log cabin out in the wilderness, up in the mountains, somewhere, just out of the way. Where every day you wake up and you've got just a stunning view, and your days are spent cutting lumber, bucking it up to put in, to get ready for winter, for all your prep, and just the whole thought of that. It's hard work, it's a hard life, I totally get that, but man, I would absolutely love to do that. So looking out of all that we survey, we don't survey all of that, but what we do survey is, what do we have? So we've got these two and that one. is what we start with. These are very hilly. Actually, I don't know about that. I haven't been out over there. I think most people would assume this simply because that's kind of, that's the norm. But I decided, actually, you know what? Let's go with that and that. It may be trickier logging. But what I've also done is taken on a deadwood contract. So when I was picking up the keys, there were some available. Oh, tree transport. I'm going to accept that contract. Oh, hang on. I'm just thinking, will my little log crane on the back of the Volvo be able to pick up the logs? That I could use my flatbed for. 10 grand. I'm going to accept it. Why not? That'll be where we find out that the equipment we got is woefully inadequate. But yeah, we have got a deadwood contract to do up here. But only pays 1,800. The reason I was going to do that was to highlight the fact as well that whilst they don't pay out very well, you get the lumber off them. It gives you the opportunity that on the plot of land I own, I can start off doing forestry immediately. Of course I can. And I'm going to get back to here and I'm going to do forestry. Of course I am. But it highlights the fact that you've then got access to other plots of land that aren't yours to take lumber off of. So if you are sort of arriving with nothing and you can pick up a couple of those, you've got access to land that you don't necessarily own. But again, I just thought I could go down that route. I was gonna do that. I thought, you know what, best thing, rather than buy a plot of land with my money from Griffin, I'll just arrive as I always do with nothing. But then I've left Griffin with something. And I've done that a lot, where I've left other places with loads of money in the bank that I've spent so long building up and then don't use it. I could have arrived at 1.6 million. I haven't gone mad, but, So the plot itself then, that we've got access to is all the way out here. Okay, got to get there first. I'm trying to look at my best route there, really. I suppose the thing I could do, I wonder if I could send the forwarder on its own. If I could, I'm not in a position to hire workers, I've got no money away. Okay, let's start this up. I don't own a skid steer loader. I don't own a wheel loader. I don't own anything with a big bag handler, which I could really do with right now. I don't own any of that. I don't know what I own. I could have plotted a route, but like I say, I could put this on the back of the low loader and drive there quicker with the Land Rover. I'm just wondering if that's a better option. But I'm going to have to drive back with it, so... Oh, let's just go. Let's just go and get on with it, shall we? Should we go that way? Let's have a look at the map. No, I think I'm better off. I don't know how steep the hills are going to be, actually. It's all an exploration! So like I say, I'm going to do the deadwood, we'll get that done. That may be all I'll get done, I don't know, we'll see. I want to use the winch, we're going to drag wood out, we're going to cut it up. It's not going to be perfect, and then we'll take it to a local sawmill to sell and see how much money we make. It's not going to be mega money, but it's going to be some money in the bank to get us going. Then I'll work out about collecting that that lumber. The other thing I've got to keep an eye on is the plots of land I purchased. Where are we now? Right, so we're the right-hand side of this road, which is all the hilly stuff. Just realised actually I could have kept all the flat stuff this side. The estate agent... No, I mean, we call them estate agents in the UK. Was it realtor? Is it a realtor in the US? Yeah, the realtor was... this is what it all comes with. This plot, this plot, this plot, but the money was more. Or you can have this plot and this plot. And we just kind of... We haggled over price. I just suddenly thought if I'd have gone with that one, cleared that, then I'd have a flat plot of land that I could have then made into a pasture, or we could have done animals on there, but it's never so, we still can't. This is going to be one of those ones where logging finances whatever else I do. We're also here to help out the locals with Infrastructure, we've done that before. There's a lot of things they want done, a lot of things they want built, refurbished. Like I say, the boatyard, I think that's going to be my first port of call. Port of call, pardon. Yeah, give it a go. I'm just excited to get on with it, you know. So we'll stop here as we check the map. Right. So the other plot we own is to the left of this track. Oh, more hills. I picked this well, didn't I? And big sections of it with no trees on. Genius. I suppose what I could do. Once there's a load this side. Once I've cleared it, if I spend a bit of time replanting, because there's new planting bits and bobs, we'll just use the old planting, doesn't matter whether it will let me or not, we'll see replanting, and I could sell it on as a plantation moving forward, so if people want to buy it for sort of future use, I could do that, or just buy a new plantation out of it. We'll see, a new segment. Right then, we're coming up the hill into the zone, I think. Almost in it. I'm not convinced I'm going to get all this done in this episode. I think what we'll do is I'll get at least the trees cut down. We'll get some dragged out and get some loaded up. But I think I might just get the first load, because there's going to be a few trees. I think I've got to cut down 12. Let's just stop there. Oh, this is where I really wish I had a skid steer loader or something like that. Oh, hang on a minute. Whoa, this is right, we are in the zone. How many have I got cut down? Yeah, 12 trees. So I'm looking for deadwoods marked. There's one there. That's weird. Outside the zone. Oh yeah, just outside. Okay, it's not that one then. This is what I had last time. Oh, it took me ages. Finding the first couple I was fine, then I would honk through, found loads, then all of a sudden finding the last two. Oh man. Right, let's have a look. Are we outside here? Nope, there we go. There's one. There's another. Chainsaw up. Let's go. Long reach chainsaw. Anything I'm using should be the description. Oh no, hang on. Is this where I'm getting charged for each cut? Oh no, I remember now. Oh, I'm going to run out of money. I'm literally going to cut one tree down and then have to go and take that and sell it to get enough money to cut the rest down. That'll be good. Right. The problem is, at the moment, that tree is 21.7 metres. What am I thinking? Exactly. I'm already... What was I thinking? Let's line this up and see what I reckon cut length. I'm not looking forward to using the crane to load this up, but hey, needs must and all that. Right, let's go with there. And let's say if we extend over the back, I mean we're going to be looking at maybe 4s, a little bit over the back. Let's extend to there maybe. So that is okay, 5.2. So I said 5 metre. So 5 metres I reckon we'll get away with. Do you reckon? I suppose the other thing I need to do, if I do one from the other end and get myself a marking stick, I've done that before, so I can cut 5s, and then the rest I'll just have to do it on whatever side. So if you're not using a tree harvester and you want to get yourself a marking stick, I tend to find it helps a lot. Assuming of course it'll let me pick up a 5 metre marking stick. I know on PC and stuff there's tape measures and all sorts of stuff. So I've always thought it'd be quite cool if part of this was like as you lined up, but then it'd have to tell you either side, wouldn't it? What either side was. Should we go with that? About there? It's probably too short now. 5.6. How did I go so much? Really? If I were to put that on, how much is that going to hang over the back? Let's take that bit off. What's it saying now? I'm still saying 5.6. Okay, let's lock that tiny little bit off the end. That'll do. We'll go with a 5.3. So, because I can pick this up, it says, get up there. That's my measuring stick. So if I want all my cuts to be the same now, I'll just line that up and make a cut. Yes, it's time consuming. I could just do it by eye and say, oh, it doesn't matter. Some can be 4, some can be 5, some can be 8. But the 8's, I'm just not going to be able to carry them on this. So what I'll do now is line that up with the cut of my last one, which was about there. You've seen me do this before, I know, but like I say, we are going to move on to using different gear. Different gear, still no idea. That one is 5.1, okay. And then, how have we got another full one out of that? Let's see. Pretty much, that'll overhang a little bit further, that's okay, right, so that's my measuring one, don't load that up, we're going to need that. We've got another tree over here to cut down. The other thing I think I'll do, if I get the Volvo over here, what I can do is I'll have a landing, I suppose, and if I drag all the trees to the same place, depends where the rest of these trees are going to be. So for the time being, I'm going to put that to the side there. I'm going to have a go with the crane once to show you. And then we'll... we'll see what happens after that. I'm still going to have to use it, but I might have to do more of it off the camera, I think. Where's my cut? I'm trying to see where the cut is. Let's go with that. Try and get it about halfway there. I'm not a big fan of these because they don't always grab particularly well, but that doesn't seem to be too bad. Wow, okay. That went better than I thought it was going to. Other way. Why is that going to go that way? What? No, 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 don't close. Oh, okay. So much longer now. One in. Right, I'm going to take that inside. That's it. Thanks for watching. That's what I can do if I go equidistant. I can do one way, one the other. Righty ho. That's what I don't like about log cranes. That's what a lot of people don't like about log cranes. That silliness when the log starts to just slide through the grab. Like, come on. I know if you don't get a log in the real world quite right, of course you can get that happen, but when it's doing it all the time, it gets really frustrating, you know. So, am I going to switch out for something else really soon? I would say almost certainly. So I grabbed that halfway down, and that's already coming out. So I need to get that in, swung round. Of course it is. I'm determined to make sure I take the lumber off off the claim this time. Nudge. There we go. That's not so bad. It's going to take a bit of time, but we'll get there. Yeah, that one was quite a bit longer, wasn't it? I'm going to load this up. That's the theory. Suck up thriller type. Will MrSealyp load the log trailer up? Will he get it full? How much money will he make? Will he ever get this finished before the end of the episode? Answer that, probably not. And I know there's going to be loads of you out there that are far better at this than me. I know, I get it. And I'm going to be honest, it sounds outright, doesn't matter, it really doesn't. Just do it the way you do. I spend a lot of time doing it with the log cranes? No, because I don't like them. So what I will often do, once I've got past this stage, I'm already thinking with my first paycheck from selling logs, am I going to buy something to help me load quicker? Probably. Oh, that's a good point actually, while that log's sitting there and causing me grief. Oh, there isn't anything. All I needed was a really cheap telehandler. A really cheap. Oh, I tell you what I could get, the JCB, that one that came out recently, the JCB teleskid. Could do that. That might work. What if I get the other way this time? There we go. Excellent, right, I've got more to do. Way more. Strap that there, there we go. Just cut the third. I'm on. I've brought the Volvo 2654 up with the Fanzelt winch system on the back. What I am going to do, like I said, I'm going to use that to drag trees out. But rather than do the trees whole, I've got my measuring stick, so I'll move that out of the way. So what I was going to do was drag them out to a loading area. Now it's on a hill. I've pointed that downhill, so when I'm loading logs on, their propensity is to slide forward because it's facing downhill, and they'll hit that rest headache rack rather than the other way around, and then they're likely to slide off. It just kind of works better that way if you're on a hillside. The other thing as well, if you're going to be using the winches, if I click on that, if I come out to the join, rather than go from that end and click them, because you can put more than one on, if you go to the join first, if I do that one there, and then I can attach another, should be able to attach another, Oh, tell me this one doesn't just do one. No. Attach another, there we go. So just bring that across so you can do two at the same time right next to each other. It just kind of there we go. Makes more sense to do them at the join there rather than doing one at one end, dragging it around and trying to, you know, bring it round so you can attach it. Do it at the join, makes life a little bit easier. And we should be able to do from there. Yes. Tighten that up. I could do whole trees this way, of course, but just thought it'd be a little bit easier because I mean these are close to the edge of this one, but as we get further in, just hoping there's none of them on cliff sides or anything like that, because that's going to get annoying. And I'll disconnect and I'll go again. I've been kind of trying to have a bit of a scout round in between loading logs on. This is going to be a tricky one. I'm just looking, I keep checking my circle. I mean, we do go right up the hill. There's some up there I can already see up there. So we'll move further up the hill. Now, as you saw, as we came up with those logs on, the Volvo forwarder, whoa, I tell you what, it struggled a little bit. The other thing as well, again, I don't want to be teaching granite to suck eggs. It's, you know, just things I do in the logging I've done on various different maps and that kind of thing is, especially on the hilly ones, if you're not using a cable yarder, it will always fall to the left of the way you cut, but you want to cut it so it falls either uphill or downhill. If you cut it sideways and it falls along the hill, it will roll away. I know it's obvious, you know, but it's so easily done. And if you're new to the game and you haven't done much logging or any at all, it may not be something that even crosses your mind. I'm by no means, I don't do this for a living. But just like I say, from playing the game and doing stuff I have done, it's kind of what I found. This one, for example, this one is going to be one. I will grab the winch and I will drag the whole tree out. Simply because it's up on this rock now, and it just makes more sense than cutting it in pieces up here. So I'll grab it that end, drag it out, and then we'll cut it out on the open area. The other thing as well is be careful when you're doing these contracts. If you cut down too many in one go, and then forget where they are. So not only if you found them once, then cut them down, you don't have to spend ages going out and finding where they were when you cut them down, especially if you're dragging trees out. When I did the kind of look, these are the contracts, I just cut them all down, I didn't drag them all out. And the ones that I did, I dragged them out literally as soon as I'd cut them, so it's that case of just be aware of that. If you know, if you're going to do it. I'm nothing if not helpful. I will share information if I have it. Back to that. We'll stick to that one as it is. I'm going to swing it round, so I'm trying to go kind of alternate, thick to thin, so they're not all at one end, you know. And at the moment, now I haven't tried delivering normal lumber to the container yard, but it is saying at the moment prices for wood container warehouses at 1,900. Elm Creek on the train, old sawmill, paper factory sawmill. But at the end of the day, the old sawmill price is pretty good as well. So what we could do is take it up there. We can always call the train. That's not a bad price either. So we go up to the north sawmill, try the container warehouse. If it won't let me sell normal logs, we can do the old sawmill, or stick it on train and send it off. Those ones to the south are a little bit less, but then that depends how long it's going to take me to load all this up, because by the time I've done it, the prices could have plummeted. We'll see. I'm up here by one of the watchtowers. As you can see, I'm $35 in debt already, just from using the chainsaw. There were 3 trees up here. One of the ones that I was going to pull up, I've done that. They're all there. There was one over there. There was one over there. But, you know what I said about that one? I was hoping that was going to be the worst one I had to do. Oh no. There was one, and it was down here, all the way down there on the ledge. So I cut it, hoping it was going to fall flat against here, and it slid to about there. Now I have no idea if I'm going to be able to get this out. I hope so. I've got 8 logs loaded onto the trailer. I'm at this moment contract complete, but I want to get the logs off the site. So what I'm going to do is try and get this one out. If I can't, then I'll go with what I've got. I'll take my full load, I'll come back, and then off camera I will chop up these 3 I've got here, put them onto the forwarder, and we'll go and sell those as well. But I think going and sell the lumber we've got up at the North Sawmill, now that's going to be an interesting prospect in itself, because as you saw, trying to go up the hills with the forwarder, I went up the hill here thinking I was on this road, and I wasn't, and then realised all the up and downs I've got to do. So what I'm going to hopefully do is cross the bridge here. Hopefully this incline's not too horrendous. We'll see how we go. Down to the main road, and then we'll go up to the sawmill. And we'll try up there. That's what I'm going to do. It got to a point I was going at 1-2 miles an hour, but it was still moving. So fingers crossed here then. We can attach to this. Looks like we can. I'm going to try and get out as far up as I can. Let's try and winch first of all and see how we get on. Like I say, I don't know if this is going to get caught up or not. But we'll try our best. That's all we can do. Then I'll delimit and we'll do the rest. But it might get caught up. If it does, there's not a lot I can do. But come on, you can do it, plucky little Volvo. Volvo. Job done. I must admit, I thought it was going to be a lot harder. What I'm going to do is, to make my life easier as well, when you're doing it like this manually, if you've got yourself a measuring stick, if you can cut down your trees, put them on a landing, line them all up. I did this a lot on Western Wilds. I can use the back of this, and I can lower it to the ground. So if I can butt all the ends up so they're all in line, I can then measure and then cut all 4 logs at the same time. Measure all 4 logs, measure all 4 logs. That way I haven't got to do loads of separate ones. You know, again, it just speeds up the process a little bit. But what I want to do is try and get this hopefully not caught up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut the limbs off. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm going to do. What I will do, see in a moment, in the forwarder, we're going to head up to the North Sawmill, try the container cell. Again, it might be you've already done that. You've already put. I've only gone up there with containers full of lumber off camera, just testing. We'll just see how we get on. Okay, that's that. Put that away. And just get to swing round. Then I'll just attach the winch the other end and drag that in line with the other ones. And we'll be good. Detach that. Loving life at the moment. Would it be nice to speed things up? Only just for the sake of getting stuff ready for showing you, but if I was just doing this just for me, my own benefit, my own pleasure, my own enjoyment, I would just, in my element. Do is just try and line them up if I can. Attach that. Find that cable. Can't get through that gap. That's the issue. Just. we go. I don't know if I want to get all 4 of them, but we'll try. There we go. Happy with that. So I'll start logging and I'll get these loaded up later on and we'll get them on their way. Lights off. I have to make sure whatever I do not complete that contract because I'll lose these and I do not want to lose these. Where did I get my measuring stick? I've been on a journey, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Went up to the North Sawmill. The container warehouse wouldn't take the lumber off the trailer. I took one piece off to put it on just in case it would take it, but it didn't. The actual sawmill itself wouldn't take it either. The mill pond, which surprised me. I've done a little bit of testing off camera, and every time I've done it, I've owned the sawmill. So I'm assuming to use the mill pond, you've got to own it, which is weird because it's got a price. The sell point gives you a price, and if once you've bought the sawmill and you own it, then you don't get a price for taking stuff there. So it's weird, unless in the delivery contract. It could also be argued at this point that why don't I just sell the John Deere and buy some bigger equipment and do that? I could, absolutely I could. Like I said, I don't want to jump the gun. That's not to say between now and the next episode I won't, or on the next episode I won't. I think I'm going to need to get a tree harvester pretty soon. There are a few. There's the one I used on Western Wilds, really cheap, so I could get that maybe and a telehandler, or I want to get one of the big Volvo wheel loaders, but they're quite expensive. So yeah, there's I've got options. I've got a few things I can do. I just want to get this done. Did I lose a couple of logs along the way? I did, because when I got to the North Sawmill, the old sawmill, I went to the mill pond and it wouldn't take anything. I thought that's weird because, like I say, in testing it had. So I undid the straps and some of the logs fell off. So I've left them up there. At any point, I can always go and get them, or if we buy the old sawmill at some point. So now, fingers crossed, the moment of truth. How much have we made? Why is nowhere taking my stuff? I don't understand this, because when I did delivery of lumber, see if I can sell this stuff. Why is nothing selling? Oh, please tell me this is not because I haven't completed the contract. So maybe I could have sold it up at the North Sawmill. Is this because the contract's still ongoing, but I haven't got all of the lumber? And if I do it now, this is the sell point, South Sawmill. It certainly hasn't taken it from there. If I complete the contract, I've got a load of lumber up there, which means I need to unload this into the sell point, go and get the rest, then complete the contract. Oh man. Okay. Wow, this is frustrating. I hadn't even thought of it like that before. Because technically I don't own this yet. I can't sell it until the contract's complete and it's technically mine, because at the moment it belongs to the contract. Is that right? Is that how it works? Oh, great. Okay. See you later. I'm going to have to do this, then go and get the rest of the lumber, then we can unload, and then we can see what we've made. Brilliant. I'll just get the lumber off any way I can. It really doesn't have to be neat and tidy. Come on, off you pop. It's 1:10. I'm down at the south sawmill with the load that I unloaded. I've brought down the Volvo with the Panzer. I keep saying the Fanzelt. I've moved everything out the sell point. A couple of things have dawned on me. I've spread my bets here. The bits of lumber that fell into the mill pond I left there, they're still sat there. The forwarder, the Volvo forwarder, I've now taken the last 4 trees, cut them all up, loaded them onto the trailer. The back, they're all up at the container sell point. And then I've got these here. Because not only have I not completed the contract on here, which as soon as I complete, I'm worried that all of these are going to disappear. Now the contracts say right from the outset that you can sell the wood afterwards. When you leave it on the plot, it disappears. Now I'm worried it's going to disappear. I've tried it on this sell point, mill pond and container, and my lumber wouldn't sell. So I'm thinking I need to complete the contract. But the other thing I'm thinking is the tree transport contract needs to be brought down here to the south to be paid. So my other concern is if I leave all this on the sell point, complete that contract, is it going to take this lumber for that contract or not? Is that why it's not letting me sell here? So I don't know whether or not that one there, that's 10,000 though. Do I just take a chance, complete the contract, collect? Right, why has half the lumber disappeared? That doesn't make any sense at all. Some of it's still here, half of it's gone. And it's still not selling. What's going on? Why can't I sell any lumber? When I did testing on this, I used the log trailer and the Volvo lorry. I brought it down here and it took it. Why? This is the sell point. There's no other sell point here. This doesn't make any sense at all. Is it because that one's still active? But then I should have got paid for the other stuff. I'm going to have to whiz up now to the north sawmill. Let me push all this in. It's not taking it at all. And I've lost half of what I did. So all that time I spent cutting it all down, loading it all up, putting it onto the trailer, half it vanished. So the contract telling me that the deadwood contracts you can sell the wood afterwards, not so much. Okay, I'm up at the old sawmill, container warehouse. The lumber that fell into the mill pond is still sat there. Luckily, the lumber that I put onto the forwarder is all still here. I don't know why I lost a load down there. My next course of action, this is the next thing I can try, is to cancel that contract and see if that makes a difference. Because if it doesn't, I am at a loss now how to sell lumber. And it also makes a mockery of the deadwood contracts if it says you can sell the lumber because that's what it says. So If I cancel that and collect, nope, still nothing. Why can I not sell any of my wood? What I need to do is end this here. I'm sure everyone will have all sorts of answers. Everyone will know the reason. It could well be just because it's from a contract, but I don't understand why it says you can sell the wood if you can't. The money hasn't gone up, so the stuff that's down the other sawmill hasn't sold either. So what I might need to do is take this back to my main farm, homestead, logging camp, whatever you want to call it, and then cut down a couple of trees there and do the same thing. Bring them up here. I'll see if I can get the other contract to come back up again. And see if I can sell normal lumber off my fields, off my plots. If I can, then it's this. It's tainted, it's cursed wood. But for this episode, the first episode, an abject failure, I think you will agree at the moment. But we'll see how we move forward. I mean, yeah. The two reasons I thought it wouldn't sell, it hasn't made a difference. I guess the thing I do is whiz back down to the other one, throw some lumber on there and see if it sells now. I'm struggling to understand why it wouldn't. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. I mean, I did the login, I did use the winch, I used this, we've moved all the lumber, we did all the stuff we were supposed to. It just seems to be a problem with the actual selling. It's like nobody wants it. If you have enjoyed it, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.